All right, folks, we're going to move on to episode 6, our season 6, episode 8. There we go. I'll say it right here the first time. And we're getting ready for people to see the other person's kind of living arrangements. We're going to bounce around a little bit here. We got Jimmy and Chelsea. We get friends entering the fold with Tiffany meeting Jimmy. It's her roommate. Jimmy said her roommate might be a little too much for him. He says he's not sure he could live there with her. However, she loves his place. He is adamant on living in his place, even though it is small. Now we're flipping on over to Clay's place where he goes to enter the code to get into his little house and he blocks his hand from AD seeing it. It's one of those, it's probably one of the funnier moments that you'll see on the show because it's one of those I know you, but I don't know you, but we're engaged. So it's like a funny bubble. He does fix it by saying, "Oh, I can give you the code or whatever." It was just kind of funny moment right there that I thought was hilarious. Clay said his it's his house is family ready, and he hopes that she is open to the idea of moving in with him. Clay. AD loves his spot and is impressed with his layout. She said it needs a woman's touch, and she's glad that it doesn't have one. AD's humor is very underrated here. AD says she can see herself moving in and making it work. He's enamored by the idea of her living there. We got Laura and Jeremy's time. She walks in, sees that he has a gym in his garage. Her first impression is that it's clean. His mom left a note for the two of them, a sweet little card, sweet little saying on it. I thought that was adorable. She said the silverware looks staged. She tells the camera that she kind of brushed off the idea of him saying that he lived immaculate. She says it gives giving serial killer vibes in a good way. Didn't realize you can have serial killer vibes in a good way, but hey, it is what it is. He puts his sleep apnea mask on where she kind of laughs and jokes with him, said he sounds like Squidward. Now on to my favorite couple, Kenneth and Brittany. He has nothing in the fridge and she's laughing at him. These two remind me of Trey and Ryan from The Ultimatum. If you watch that season 2, she's beginning to overanalyze everything he's been doing. Here we go. Here comes the problem. My guy's just always in his phone. She tells him that she feels distant while she felt more safe and grounded in Mexico. He asks when he will give her some grace for her reactions. He said he's ready for them to live their normal lives together. Could we see a little bit of trouble in paradise? I sure the hell hope not. Chelsea's friends arrive while Jimmy is working, but the ladies are excited to see her and take a look at her ring. She tells them about how they dated. She brings up Trevor. My oh my, we brought up Trevor. She said Trevor was her number one. Oh, she said she was into Trevor and he had a mullet. Why are we crying over Trevor? Chelsea, what are we doing here? The first conversation you're having with your friends in your house is talking about Trevor. Like, I get it. Like, you want to talk about the experiment. You talk about Trevor. You talk about Jimmy. You talk about, hey, I chose Jimmy over Chet. Like, golly, like, boom. She said he saw a picture of Jessica and she was stunning. That is going to cause lots of problems. I can feel that's not going to be nice. She said she knows Jimmy. She knows Jimmy loves him, loves her, but yeah, now they start talking about Jimmy and their sex life. And then, of course, what's number one thing you liked about Chelsea? She said she looked like Megan Fox. We start talking about Jessica. This thing gets a little bit dicey up in this jaunt. Then they start talking about having kids. He wants to have 3 to 5 kids, but he's flexible. And then one of the girls asked if they go to bed angry. He brought up they've had one argument and then kind of communication. He said it went well. They talk about how they communicate well. I think the thing about it is they do communicate well. It's just they get explosive at first. And I think that's the really like the hard part. They're explosive and they say kind of rude and hateful things to each other. The Fox thing is brought up again. Um she calls him hell yeah brother, and then he like hates the fact that she calls him brother. Very weird, very just like off-putting moment. I don't know, these two are questionable here. Megan Fox thing is I'm sorry, Amy and Johnny together. She is a crystal girl and he said it's a red flag. He wants to retire early, but the kind of life she lives, she doesn't want to have like kids for like 5 years. They agree the first step into being together is buying a house. However, they're talking about kids. They talk about he doesn't want any whoopsies, so they really haven't had any sex, and it's because she isn't on birth control, and it's kind of been a massive roadblock. They're not sexually intimate because he's worried about having the kid. Again, she says, it is a two-way street. He said if he wants this so bad, get a vasectomy and get it reversed. Um, she said she didn't realize this was a big deal to him. I get his side. He wants to wait to have babies. That's the thing. Like you have to have these conversations because it's like don't want to have babies, but we can't be really getting rough, and we can't have any whoopsies out in the world. You know what I mean? She's like, if we have a whoopsie, whatever. But he's not like, Kenneth woke her up. Brittany and Kenneth. Kenneth woke her up at 1:30 in the morning. He wanted to tell her goodnight. She said she hasn't been home. He hasn't been home. He said he's been doing things and called her in between things. He's asking her to allow the flexibility. She seems kind of insecure since they came back. She said the desire and the crave is missing, but he said that's missing for her, not him. He said he's attempting to respect boundaries, and he said he doesn't uh, introspectively understand his version. He said he worries about her questioning how he feels and doesn't allow specific moments to ruin things. She said this. She said that she is very affectionate and they haven't made out. She said it upsets her because she wants that crave they had from the pods and isn't feeling it now. He said they need to work it out and be honest about what's happening. He said he is confident spiritually what's for him will be for him. He said if she isn't, God will prepare him for that. He said this is not going to work, and she said says she needs to find someone for her. What the fuck just happened? We went from fucking rainbows and butterflies in Dominican Republic, in the Dominican Republic, and now we're broken up. Like they're done. Like are they done? Like done. Like there has got to be more. There's got to be more that we didn't see because happy-go-lucky, perfect in the pods, perfect in the Dominican Republic. Come back, a little bit of weirdness, but just break up. There's got to be more. You just don't break up. I don't understand. I I don't understand. I knew this would happen. I was emotionally invested. My fault. Chelsea and Jimmy, they're talking about her friends and they loved her. All right, loved him. She said he hasn't given her the affection today. And things start to get a little crazy. She said he didn't kiss her and he called her ass out. She called his ass out, said, I kissed you in the bathroom in the morning before your friends came. He heard her and he will express his feelings more. Jimmy said he wasn't feeling weird. He brought up Jessica and saw the picture and just wanted to express that. Chelsea brought up she was worried and he is trying to apologize. And she interrupts him again to talk about how he says, I love you in an awkward way and doesn't like it. This just it's not healthy. You can tell there's some insecurity within Chelsea and maybe it probably has to do with some past issues and also has to do with the fact that Jimmy saw a picture of Jessica and maybe is more inclined and attracted to to women like Jessica. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that's missing here. You know what I mean? But yeah, so and then he hits her with she just said she hasn't felt the love from him the last couple of days, and he hits her with truthfully, you've been a little clingy. And this kind of sets her off. She said that was fucking rude. I'm sorry. The thing about it is she kind of pushed him and he kind of pushed back. And he said he has told her he loved her. And she said, I don't want to hear from you. He said, I'm telling you how I feel. And she says, I don't want to be told that I'm clingy from the person that put a ring on my finger. She said, you didn't kiss me and you didn't tell me you love me. I don't love this here. I do think that this kind of started from the moment he saw the picture from Jessica, and I felt like she really it was just an insecure moment. You know what I mean? He tried to own his mistake and she kind of went off the rails. She said, this is fucking bullshit. She cooked him dinner, watched his show, went upstairs and had sex with him. He said, you're bringing up sex. Maybe he wants a breather from that too. Like this went from 0 to 1,000 real crap, like real fast. Like these two were 19 days away from the wedding and holy shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know. Jessica has arrived. She's meeting with Laura. She talks about how she told her daughter that they weren't getting married. She says she told her that she fell in love with Jimmy. Jimmy sent her a friend request and revoked it. he sent her a friend request and he revoked it. So like he was like, what? Is he trying to go see her pictures? And then was just like, just kidding. I was just trying to see your pictures. But like he sent her a friend request the moment he got back and then withdrew the friend request. She said even if he was ugly, she would have closed her eyes and listened to him talk. She said if they see each other, she would have questions. She spent the entire time trying to heal. And then we find out that Sarah Ann DM'd Jeremy, and Laura screenshot it. She said, if your mind is ever shifting in your choice, I would love to meet you. Holy shit. He didn't respond, but yet he liked it. He was forthcoming towards it and did tell her. Jessica said, um, Team Jeremy. Oh, sorry, wait. Jessica said she is Team Jimmy. She said she isn't over Jimmy yet. She said she still gets the butterflies. Jessica said she did her digging and noticed that she was more of like Jimmy's choice. She said if they see each other, sparks would fly. And she goes, "Do you think he'd want to see me?" And Laura says yes. And she said, "Oh, I genuinely am befuddled at what happened here. Like we're moving into episode 9, but like episode 8, we saw a breakup. Kenneth, Brittany, uh, what's going on? Jimmy, Chelsea, the world's coming to an end. Jeremy, Laura, Sarah Ann, DM, Jeremy, Jessica wants to see Jimmy. What is going on? Like this is the wildest and craziest like season. I swear it really is. It blows my mind at every turn. I still want to know what happened with Kenneth and Brittany. I don't understand it. But Chelsea and Jimmy time, Jimmy's back and he comes in and kisses her on the cheek. He said he didn't get any sleep. She said leaving like that wasn't cool. We are back to the clinginess thing. He said if he was generally annoyed by how she acted, he said if he thought she was clinging to the point of no return, he wouldn't be there. She said he needs to work on his delivery. She said, I need to work on my emotions and being sensitive. He said, I'm sorry and I love you. He said, I won't judge you for the things that you said when you're upset. He said he plans on being with you forever. He said he loves her more after meeting her friends. He says, you can't hold this against me for the rest of my life. He brings up saying she wasn't going to initiate sex. It, again, I mentioned this earlier. They have these dynamic where it's like explosive at first, but they have these explosions. But then whenever they get back together, like it's good on the surface, right? They're good on the surface, but then it blows up, and then it's like, what the hell's going on? Also, like, where the fuck's Jessica? Let's just we'll throw her in here, stir the pot. Jeremy and Laura are chatting. She says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous is he to meet her parents? She said her parents are wildly uncomfortable, and he said he will bring them out in a song and dance. She said maybe her parents say Jeremy is a good guy, but not your guy. Worst case scenario. That's terrifying. The meeting goes good as they grill him about the pod and experiment. She talks about how they're in love. They were in the love triangle. She brings up Sarah Ann, and then she brings up the DM, and she wants to meet with about how she wanted to meet with him. His brother said he was transparent, however he hearted it. Look, the thing about it is this. Okay, maybe the heart was the bad thing, but when you double tap, it just hearts it. I don't feel. The thing about it is Jeremy could have lied. That's my big thing. He could have lied to her and said, hey, and never said that Laura or Sarah Ann had DM'd him. I don't get it. Her family likes him, she said, she dishes out a lot, but he seems to be taking it. Her family sees them butting heads. Her mother tells her that she speaks harshly with one another, and that they need to like have some like, sure, you can have that witty banter back and forth, but you also kind of need to be like honest and reflective with each other and be kind to one another. We get some Johnny and Amy who are learning how to dance together. Very, very cute moment. Clay and AD, she's meeting his family. This is going good. She brings up talking about how he doesn't come home so often. He brings up about how he has to do certain things to stay at his spot versus staying at his apartment. He said he is getting frustrated. Their schedules don't mesh very well. He kind of got super snippy here, but then his mom calls him out saying if someone is important, to make time for them. If the love is there, you make the time, period. Laying down the law, Mama Clay. Love this moment for her. Chelsea and Jimmy. Chelsea is meeting his friends, and yes, they are all girls. She's saying a lot of nice things about Jimmy. Sex is brought up again, and somehow Jimmy crying during sex is brought up. And then, of course, they talk about the past couple of days where she talks about Chelsea saying said Jimmy called her clingy, and now his friends called him out about how he is clingy. Well, his close friends were girls, and she said she was fine with it. That definitely feels like something that might come back and haunt them. The BFFs love Chelsea. Amy and Johnny, she's meeting his family, and his family absolutely loves her. They all are head first into them being together. Again, strong moment here. The only thing that we have between these two that really is uncomfortable is the baby making stages. So that's definitely an interesting conversation. Lar and Jeremy, he's wearing sunglasses in the house. Things look tense here. She said he was out at 10:45 last night and didn't come home until 5:45. Uh-oh. How are you gone for until 5:40? Like, so 7 hours, bro? He said, I went to a karaoke location he said, I went to karaoke, the location changed and meet at a different place. He said he got a text saying that Sarah was out. She hugged him and moved on. They hung back and talked about things until 5 in the morning. She said shit is not adding up and he is dumping on her and she's snapping. He said he is sorry for it. And he said he shared his location with her, which is what? She said, I don't want to meet your mother when I am this upset with you. He said they were in a parking lot hanging out. She says, were you? And he shared the location and she tracked it and he fucking lied. He fucking lied to her saying that they stayed in the parking lot, but apparently I guess he dropped her ass off or something. He fucking lied. She walked out and she says, I want out. First off, fuck Netflix for this cliffhanger because we don't get another batch until next week, but holy shit. This is okay. So we went from Kenneth, Brittany, drop down, like blow up. Jimmy and Chelsea, hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. Now Jeremy and Laura, like Clay and AD and Johnny, Clay and AD, Clay's a little wishy-washy here and there, and AD's trying to like bring that wishy-washy in, but Johnny and Amy are pretty solid. Like, holy shit, when we go into these next batch of episodes, things are gonna be insane between these people. We still have to the barbecue, we still have to pick the dresses before we even get to the wedding. Things are going crazy, guys. I don't even know what to say. This was an incredible batch. Again, much to talk about. The biggest thing that I want to talk about is what the fuck happened with Kenneth and Brittany. We have got nothing on them. They aren't even brought up again throughout the entire episode. Very, very strange. I don't know what the hell happened. I want to know what happened. I don't feel confident. I'm going to sit here and make some predictions about what we're going to see over the next couple of weeks, but how I'm going to rank my couples now. We're out with Kenneth and Brittany. We're my number one. Johnny and Amy, number one now. Clay and AD are my number two. I don't even know where to put Jimmy and Chelsea and Jeremy and Laura. Jeremy and Laura might not even be together again. They might break up on the next batch of episodes. That's what I'm going to predict. I think they're going to break up. And if they break up, we're down to three couples heading to the wedding. And do Jimmy and Chelsea even make it to the wedding? Who the fuck knows anymore? Who knows? Who knows anymore? We still have bachelor parties. Oh my God. I forgot about those. Those are going to cause ruckuses. I don't know, man. What in a crazy batch. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Tell me what you think of these episodes because this is just it's almost to the point where this stuff feels scripted. I don't even know what to say anymore. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at @RickyBlair_. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. We will be back next week to dive into episodes 10 and 11.